Want to be Chitimus here. Since this month, I'm doing my reviews for woman-based movies because of Women's History Month. Here is my review for a Catherine Hardwicke movie, and that is pretty much Catherine Hardwicke's first ever feature film, and that is probably an intense one, and that is 2003's 13. Now, 13 was of course a film that premiered back on August 20th, 2003. It was of course directed by Catherine Hardwicke, and it was actually her first feature film. And of course, Catherine Hardwicke will later go on to direct the first Twilight movie. She's directed Lords of Dogtown, some other pretty notable stuff here and there. And the film, of course, actually starred a very young Nikki Reed, who, of course, you might know she's appeared in the Twilight films. And now here you got honor student Tracy Freeland, who's portrayed by Evan Rachel Wood, who has like a very troubling home life, but she is like very close to her mother, Melanie, played wonderfully by Holly Hunt, and she ends up, and of course, Tracy ends up befriending with this queen bee named Evie, played by Nikki Reed, and Evie ends up talking Tracy into like experimenting with drugs and other stuff. I'm not really going to mention on here. I mean, this movie is a bit of a tense one. I mean, Evan Rachel Wood, she was like very young when she did this movie, so this is like before her, Across the Universe days, before her, Westworld days. It's a bit of a tense film. I mean, I guess say this was like kids of the 2000, early 2000s and all. I mean, this movie is. I'm not a parent at all. I don't have a parent. I don't have. I'm not a parent to any teenagers or anything like that. But lots of parents will probably tell you that, who of course has teenagers will tell you that this movie is probably their worst nightmare ever. I mean the stuff that both the character of Tracy and Evie get into are intense. I was pretty young myself when I saw this movie, when I first saw this movie, believe it or not. But that aside, 13 is still really good. I mean, Holly Hunter, I believe she actually scored an Oscar nomination, if I'm not mistaken. Well deserving there. You also had Jeremy Sisto was in this. Sarah Clark. D.W. Moffat was in this. A very young Vanessa Hudgens appeared in this film. And believe it or not, Nikki Reed, I believe she was like either, I think she was actually 14 herself when she did this film. Crazy to believe that Nikki Reed was she was actually the screenwriter for this. I mean, girl was literally 13 years old at the time. I think she was 13 or 14. She was probably a little older than that, but I mean, a teen girl like that actually writing a script like this movie. I mean, that's insane to believe right there. But man, the stuff that they get into this film, I'm not even gonna mention on this because it's a bit of inappropriate, what they ended up getting into this. But I still love 13. It's actually one of my favorite movies of 2003. It's a really decent indie film, a really indie darling. Holly Hunter definitely, the best. To me, of course she is great in The Incredibles and all that, but my favorite performance of Holly Hunter will always be her in 13. Her like playing the mothers of Evan Rachel Wood is terrific to watch. Nikki Reed, I mean, she doesn't do a whole lot anymore now, but Nikki Reed was so good in this movie. I mean, yeah, it's a really solid film. I mean, sometimes these like teen coming of age films, at times, yeah, they're a little like whether you talk about a movie, let's say like Kids, or not a movie but a TV show such as Euphoria. I guess you'd say 13 was kind of like a movie version of Euphoria before Euphoria became a thing. But that aside, the script was pretty solid. I mean, if you guys have never really seen 13, obviously, believe it or not, this movie's Disney. This movie belongs to Disney, all right. That's right. Because of course 13 is from Fox Searchlight and Fox is owned by Disney. So wrap your head around that, people. Next time you're watching this movie, just realize this is technically now a Disney film. Just wrap your head around that. But that aside, if you guys still haven't seen this film, it's a really decent film worth checking out. Anyway, let me lead you guys. Have you ever seen the Catherine Hardwicke movie 13? If so, what's up? Did you like it? Were you a fan of it? Were you not a fan of it? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This is Henry signing out.